Hello and welcome to Security. This is part 2 of the Microsoft Sentinel SIEM project. And here's a link to part 1 to go watch it in case you haven't. So we're going to be kicking off from where we left off. And if you remember, our goal with this project is to map out the source of improper login attempts on Sentinel. And to do that, we need location details, not just the IP address that we can find in the logs, but location details such as latitude, longitude, and the country where these improper login attempts are coming from. So in order to do that, we're going to be running a script, and this script is going to look at the event ID of our logs and search for the event ID 4625, which is for log on audit failures, and it's going to pass them through an API, which is going to return these details such as latitude, longitude, and the country that we need to generate our custom log. So it's going to generate a custom log file and save it locally on the virtual machine. So that's what we are going to be doing in part 2. We're also going to be creating a custom log in our Log Analytics Workspace on Azure, and we're going to be training the custom log to collect events automatically from our custom log file that is locally on our virtual machine. So let's get right into it. So we're going to be using this website, ipgeolocation.io. It's basically an API that takes in an IP address and gives you different information such as longitude, latitude, time zone, etc. And what we're going to be doing is run a script on the virtual machine that takes log files for failed login attempts, sends the IP address to this API, and collects this information and writes them into a log file on the machine. So of course, I'm going to show you the script and link it in the description. But first of all, I'm going to sign into my account. You need to create an account if you don't have one because you need an API key in order to run the script properly. So you can just create a free account on the website, and that gives you about 1,000 free API calls per day. That should be enough for some sort of demonstration, but if you want to get a better demo or you want to utilize it in production, you will need more than that for sure, and you can get a paid plan. Okay, so the next step is to get the scripts. Like I said, I'm going to link the script in the description. I just copy the content of the script here, select everything. I'm going to copy it. I'll pull up PowerShell ISE. Just wait for it to boot up. So I click on new to create a new script, paste the content here, and I'll just save it. So I'm going to give it the name log exporter. Just type in log exporter. And save it on my desktop. Okay, so now I have the script locally on my virtual machine. Next step is to turn off Firewall. Turn off Firewall with Windows Firewall protection, so that my machine is exposed. It's completely exposed to attacks on the internet. So I pull up Windows Firewall. So right now, even when I set up my machine and put it in a security group that allows connections from the internet, because of the Windows Firewall is still blocking connections basically. So if this is from my local machine, if I try to ping the virtual machine, you can see the request is timing out because the Windows firewall is still blocking the connection. So what I'm going to do now is turn off Windows firewall, and you'll see what happens. So I'm going to turn off Windows Defender firewall, turn it off for domain profile, turn it off for the private profile, and turn it off for the public profile as well. Just do that and click on apply. And now you should see that the pings are successful from my local machine. So now that I'm certain that the computer is completely exposed to attacks from the internet, I can go back to the VM and run the scripts. So I go to my IP geolocation account, copy the API key, and go to the script. And at the portion here where it says API key, I just paste it in there. Take out the previous one, paste in my own key. And then I save it. Okay, so basically now we're ready to run the script. And because the computer is already exposed to the internet, if there is any, it has already been discovered by an attacker, and the attacker is actively trying to log in, logs will be generated. And when I run the script, these logs are, the IP address of the attacker is taken from these logs, passed to the API, and you will see the response from the API outputted here. Okay, so now we can run the script. I'm just gonna click on play to run the script, and if any logs are being generated, okay, first of all, it's gonna create the log file, and that which is the field RODP.log, and even logs are being generated on the virtual machine for improper login. We'll start saying, okay, some output like this. So this is the response we get from the API when the IP address of the attacker is put into the API. So we see the country, the source was the username that the attacker is using, the longitude and latitude. So those kind of details. You can also go look into the generated log file, which is being updated by the script. And we can find that in our program data folder, which is a hidden folder. So I'm going to show hidden folders to be able to see that. And open it up, and you can see the failed RODP file. So in this file, we have some sample events generated that the script automatically generates, as well as some of the responses from the API or for the actual attacks that we have observed our logs have generated. So what we're going to do is we're going to generate a custom log on Azure, and we're going to use this file to train the log collector. So basically, those logs are collected automatically, and not just collected, but also such that the log can categorize the different information in this API response automatically, like categorize them into different fields. Okay, so now I have enough information to generate the custom log on Azure, and because I have limited API calls, I'm going to stop the script from running for the meantime, and yeah, I'll start it up at a later time. So now we're back on Azure. Okay, so I'm going to create a custom log now on my Log Analytics Workspace. I go to Custom Logs. So I click on Add Custom Log, and here you need a custom log file or a sample log file. So I'm going to use the information I copied from the log file in the virtual machine to create the sample log file on my local machine. So I just paste the information in a notepad file, and I'll save it on my local machine. I'll give it the name failed RDP.log, and I'll save it on my desktop. Okay, so now I'm gonna attach it here as a sample file. I go to my desktop if I can find it. Okay, now look for the file, and I paste it and click on next. Okay, so we have the content of the file. You can observe that it's all good, and if it is, click on next. So now this is the path for the collection of the logs. So basically how this works is with a sample log file, you're training the log collector to show it what kind of events it's looking out for. Then with this collection path, you specify where it is, what location it is going to be getting this log event from. What log file is it going to be getting the log events from? Okay, so we'll select Windows because we're using a Windows VM. And if you remember, the path for our log file was in the program data folder, and the name was fade_rdp.log. So I specified that as well. So this is the full path to the file. And for the custom log name, I'm gonna give it failed RDP geo with geolocation. So it's failed RDP with geo. And I just review and create. So we have our custom log generator created. And if we set it up properly, it should immediately start attempting to get logs out of our VM. So if we go run a query now and we search for this custom log that we just created, we're not going to see anything because it takes some time for the logs to be pulled out of our virtual machine into our Log Analytics Workspace. But we can search just to confirm that we're getting logs out of our VM at all. Can search for security event. We're getting these logs because we connected our Log Analytics Workspace to Microsoft Defender, and it was to collect logs for all events. So these are the logs that have been collected so far. So security event is a built-in query that we can run, and this is basically all log events with regards to security on our virtual machine. So we can even use like the SQL syntax and specify even more filter it even more finely. Like if you remember, 4625 was the event ID for improper logins or failed logins rather. So now when we run the query, we should see only the events for failed login attempts. And if you scroll through it, you can see even the login attempt we did with the account with a random username Fred, and as well as the one we did with the username security. We can expand it and see details concerning the event as well. Okay, so I'll just try the query again to see if we're getting any event yet. I'll run the query and we're not getting any event yet. So while we're waiting for the log events to be generated, I'll run the script again to see if the VM is being attacked from another location now. Doesn't seem that way. So I'll try run the query one more time. We can run, and yeah, we're getting these are the events or the response. These events are being collected from the failed RDP .log file on the VM. So we can see different information for each entry, and we're going to be paying attention to the field that is raw data, and that raw data basically is the response from the API. So we're going to be training this custom log collector to extract different fields from this raw data, like the latitude, the longitude. We want to extract them into different fields, and that's what we'll be doing in the next video. So as usual, if you're enjoying this content, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get across to them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.